I have a lot to say. So today I want to talk about and share information regarding colon hydrotherapy, or what I had, which was a touchless colonic. I initially was looking for someone professional in my area to help me deal with these intestinal parasites. And in my search, this clinic, or it's a spa, or there's a lot of things that go on in the location that I went to, but they listed the colonic as a way to deal with intestinal parasites, and I'll talk more about that later. But so I did my research, and basically the theory behind it is that because there's about a 45-minute session of water being flushed into the colon, that the water will reach places that parasites hide, and they will be flushed out when the patient releases. So that's why I did the therapy. It wasn't that expensive. It was $64, $64. So I am working on my water. This is some spring water. My goal every day is to get 64 ounces of water. That's half my body weight in ounces of water. So, what happened during the procedure? Well, of course, I called prior to get information about what to expect during the procedure. And some things were, well, there was one thing in particular, which was the water temperature that wasn't what I experienced. But she told me that, which I initially said I wasn't going to do it, well, I'll get to that. So anyway, she explains to me what I'm going to need to do.
2 inches of it, and that's as much as you're going to be inserting, okay?
Okay.
So the way you position yourself, it's actually easy to insert.
Okay.
I do have the lubricating in that. I would rather you put it on the sides, not on the tip, because it's really thick. It doesn't allow the water to come out.
Okay.
So other than that, you insert, you're going to cover up with this one, and that's going to cover your bottom part. So when you're done,
she did not touch me throughout the whole treatment. She did not insert anything. It was completely up to me to turn on the water to control the water flow and to insert the applicator. So I was to lay on the table, disrobe from the waist down, and insert the applicator with some, it was almost like uh, petroleum jelly. I really should have brought my own stuff, but um, insert the applicator, then call her back in, and then she would let me know to start the therapy. And basically what I did was I turned the nozzle that was to my left. I turned it on. I controlled the amount of water. Although there was a set, I couldn't just pour water in like I was filling a bathtub. And then she set a timer and it began. So her instruction for me was to initially hold, and then once, if water started to drip out while I was holding, it was time to release. Or if I got an overwhelming feeling to release, it was time to release. And this is the part that I initially said I'm not doing that. Release into this, I don't know, lay down toilet, and I'll have a clip of that as well. And that was very odd, and I just couldn't. It was hard for me the first time to basically feel like I was using it on myself, but I got over it. So I am a sensitive private person, And I wouldn't have done it if, there weren't covers over me and no one was present when I was disrobing or anything like that. But the way that I felt doing the therapy. So, any nervousness that I would have felt being how I was prior to doing the organic coffee enemas was gone because I'm routinely used to doing enemas. So that part was cool. Um, there was a cloth over me so that no one saw me undisrobed. She left the room and there was a buzzer that I would buzz for her to come back in. But the application, putting in the applicator. Now, I had already said that if the applicator was um, 1 inch wide or something like that, that I was not doing it. But this was probably, it wasn't that big, and I think I already showed it in a one of the video clips. But it wasn't that big, but you know, it was extremely uncomfortable because it was larger than the organic, the applicator that I have at home. Um, The lubricant didn't help with that. Initially, when it was inserted, it was almost like a pinching, or it was rough or scraping feeling. Very uncomfortable. I'm not going to say painful, but uncomfortable. And I honestly said, if this continues the whole 45 minutes, I probably will not be able to do this. I checked with the attendant, and she said that's what it is. But to my relief, that once the water started, you forget about the applicator, or it lubricates or expands the intestine and you can't feel the applicator anymore. Um, I was told the water was going to be warm. The water was actually cold. It was probably room temperature. So that was a real distraction for me initially from the fact that I had that discomfort. So the whole thing of you do it for 45 minutes, you hold, you suck in, and then you let the water accumulate, and then you release, and you do this for 45 minutes. And in the beginning, I got nothing, and I'll have a clip to show my first several that really got nothing the whole time, but it was easy. It was not easy, but there was nothing really going on. About 20 minutes into it, I got one big sensation, and normally it's just like a feeling like your stomach is really big, which are your intestines, and you want to release. But on this particular time, I had a feeling like one of the organic coffee enemas where you have this feeling like you are finna, release your intestines. I got a real major sensation about 20 minutes in, and there was the biggest release of the whole session during that time. But by the end of it, I was kind of over it. Just the whole releasing and holding and releasing. I don't know if it's because the water was getting into places that had never been lubricated that way before, but I just kept wanting to release, 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 release. And I had to stay in my mind, be self-controlled, and remind myself that I'm trying to hold. When you hold, it allows the water to lubricate the intestines more to get to places that when you release, you kind of broke free some of the debris in there. So I tried to focus on that, but at the end, I was just kind of releasing a lot. So what I did to prepare for this procedure was that I wanted to definitely get breakfast because I've had another experience where doing things that are supposed to be detoxing or cleansing can drain you. But due to my time management issues, my goal was to be on time. So I wound up not getting breakfast. I did grab a banana before and after the therapy, And I was so in such a rush that I did not drink a lot of water beforehand, although my lips were dry, and it's a procedure for me to drink water in the morning, but I just couldn't focus on that trying to get to the location that I was going to. So I started the procedure with just a banana and a little bit of water, and it wound up being okay. After the procedure, I ate a banana and I got some more water. And I did eat the banana, about 30 minutes before the procedure. And so directly after having the therapy, I got me a salad, about 2 cups of mixed greens, onion. I'll just have a picture of the salad. Okay, so what were my findings? So this is what I found out. The organic coffee enemas are definitely a cost-effective way to get the colon free of debris. Why do I know this? And I'm not recommending anyone try it, but I did an organic coffee enema prior to the the colonic, and I did it literally right before the colonic. So it already got all of the debris that was available to be released, and that's why I did not have a lot of activity during the session. But I did it because my goal wasn't to do an experiment to see how, compare the two. Um, my goal was to use them together to help me deal with the parasites, and it really was not. It's unless they're dead parasites sitting in the colon. I didn't see any parasite activity. I saw very few, not much fecal matter, but that's because I'm pretty much cleaned out in there with my last year regimen of doing the organic coffee enemas almost on a everyday basis. So what I think is that the colonic has its place and it has its purpose, and I could see myself doing it, once a year, once every 2 years, something like that, because it's more expensive than doing home doing the organic coffee enemas. But I felt lubricated. I felt, a little bit of sense of taste and smell was a little sensitive when I left. I felt I didn't feel like a weight off because I do the organic coffee enemas, and with those, I have gotten, done those and felt like I could fly, like I needed to anchor myself down. So I felt normal getting out of it. I felt like a little dehydrated beforehand, and afterwards, I'm still having a problem with getting this water in. So it definitely hydrated in there. I think it cleaned that in there like never before, but it's not effective with the parasites. I honestly think that just with me doing the organic coffee enemas, sometimes I see them, sometimes I don't. They have they have a way of hiding or securing themselves, and the organic coffee enema is more effective with getting rid of those parasites because it kills them because it's coffee, it's not water. And whatever happens when that coffee goes up there, I've had die out weeks later from the of parasites. So the hydrotherapy is to me, I didn't feel, I was stressed before, and afterwards it could be just the fact that I made it on time, and I felt normal afterwards. I didn't feel any type of, renewed clarity or anything like that, but I really do feel hydrated. And I really believe that it reached places that the organic coffee enemas don't reach, just for the sake of getting something in there to kind of do like a spring cleaning. I think that that's all that I wanted to say. Until next time, thanks for watching.